Honorable Men Discord, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Fake it to make it? Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So I first came across Dr. Cheyenne Bryant when she was interviewed by Cam Newton, and it was that interview where I was blown away by her. I said, "This is a doctor," and I know by me expressing it that way, I come across as a misogynist. But her appearance, the tight-fitted dress, didn't look like the typical doctor that I would see, especially in interviews, right? Then to top it off, I remember seeing she had a chain that said Dr. Bryant, I believe, and that to me threw me off because I said, "Oh, this must be a new version of how doctors are, in 2026." Now, with that being said, since that interview, she had, you can say, blew up on the internet. All right, to the point where I was looking at her as a potential female version of Kevin Samuels. She was to women what Kevin Samuels was to men, in my opinion. That's how I viewed it. Although Kevin Samuels did not proclaim to be a doctor, I just looked at her like the empowerment that it seemed that she was giving women. It went from women praising her to women now not liking her, questioning her as to whether or not she really is a doctor. But women aren't alone in questioning her credentials as a doctor. So what I have queued up is a few things. I'm going to start with this video that she decided to do, which is a trending Netflix documentary video that people have been doing, acting as though they're preparing for a Netflix documentary, excuse me. And so this is her basically performing for the naysayers by putting on a graduation gown. And you'll see from the videos I have queued up, people have been reacting to this, and I'll talk about it further at the end. So let's get straight to this. This is what started the whole the backlash. Well, she was receiving backlash already, but by doing this now, her name is up in trending spaces because of this. So let's get to it.
You know what? Just gonna go to hell. We're not doing this. We're not doing this, okay? Took me 12 seconds to find it on Amazon. $83. $83. You're not about to keep playing in my face. Produce the document. Show us footage. Give me the receipts. Or we don't want to hear this. What Monique say? If you're not going to put a name to it, keep it on the playground. This is childish, and you need to go to hell.
I want to ask those of you watching this, if you're someone who's in school currently to receive your doctorate degree, or if you already obtained one, I could completely understand the gripe that you may have with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, because you work hard, extremely hard, to receive that certificate. And if you see someone that you believe is cosplaying to have received that certificate, I completely understand your gripe. But for the rest of the world that's not in this space, doesn't have a doctorate, why is this so important to you all? I'm just asking, I'm not saying that it's right if she is not in fact a doctor to do these things, but why is it so important to the rest of you all? What is their angle with this? I believe that part of this is because of, again, how she looks. She's an attractive woman. At the time of this recording, I believe she's 43 years old. And I think the fact that she is very confident, attractive, and I guess that's bothering people. Because I wonder if she would get this much attention had she not been attractive. That's what I really wonder, and I'm sure some of you wonder as well. But let's get into the next thing I have queued up.
And Bryant, in this video, this is where I think she has been caught. This is what I think. Because a lot of people I know that are therapists who have gone through the training, they are like, yo, she's fake. Because if you have degrees, you just show them. It's not a big deal. You'll know where the person went to school. You'll know their dissertation things, all kinds of this is what But my thing is this video she just did is so terrible. Now, it feels like you're really lying because you could have doctored up all those little degrees. How are you going to have 800 degrees behind you? I mean, that's just so hacky. And then you're going to put on like graduation clothing. Oh, I think you're drowning in quicksand. Graduation clothing, that's called wardrobe. Anybody can get a wardrobe. You can go to a costume shop and pretend like you're a graduate for Halloween. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to diss her, man, but that just, you shouldn't have said anything, but you're dressing in front going, let me put on the I graduated with. Nobody does that. Nobody does it. And then you could have had, and all the degrees behind you are blurry. You can't even read the mother. And you could Photoshop anything. You could AI anything. Who knows? But how many degrees do you have? You have 80 degrees on the wall. Now, the controversy behind Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the so-called therapist.
Listen, if she falsified the documents and then framed it just for this reel, I think that's diabolical. I don't even know what to think if she took it to that limit. Honestly, if she was going to do it, she should have just had her regular attire on, sat down, and had the degrees behind her. And people would have still questioned it. They would have still reacted. But the fact that she has the alleged certificates behind her and she's putting on the cap and gown, it just ignited the reaction from people.
All right, real quick, let's get into this Dr. Bryant controversy that everybody's going crazy over and the robe she had on yesterday. So the robe wasn't random. It's the robe from the honorary doctorate she received from United Graduate College and Seminary in partnership with the Black Agenda. She was not the only one honored on that day. NFL star Ray Lewis also received an honorary doctorate during that same ceremony. So let's debunk one thing. There's no evidence she brought the robe off Amazon. It appears to be the regalia from the honorary doctorate ceremony. Second, people keep saying the colors are wrong because she's a clinical psychologist, but this wasn't the regalia for an earned doctorate in clinical psychology. It was from an honorary doctorate. Honorary regalia isn't necessarily tied to the recipient's professional field in the way people are claiming. But that doesn't answer the bigger question about her earned doctorate. Those are two completely different conversations. My opinion, I think she's trolling. Every time people start talking, she gives just enough to keep the conversation going without fully answering everyone's questions. As far as her earned doctorate, I honestly don't know. I've seen people raise questions, but I haven't seen enough to confidently say she did or didn't earn it. From what I've seen, her other credentials, like her master's and professional licensing, appear to be legitimate. That doesn't automatically prove or disprove the doctorate, but it's worth separating those issues. At the end of the day, if you want to question her credentials, that's fair, but let's make sure we're criticizing facts, not things like the color of a robe or assuming it came from Amazon with no evidence. That's all I got. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
So what I think is going on is she's an example of someone who is exploiting loopholes. And I'll speak about it further at the very end of this video, but I think she's exploiting loopholes. She knows how to capitalize off of perception. And there are people out there that know how to capitalize off of perception and loopholes. I think it's as American as apple pie, to be honest with you. For some people, it's as American as apple pie. To navigate through loopholes, perception, blurred lines, it's as American as apple pie. If you're offended by that, well, it's American.
Cheyenne Bryant, my thing is, y'all know I like her for the most part, right? But it's just the level of arrogance when it comes to her. She said she was done talking about it. She wasn't going to address it no more. And then she hops on this trend and puts on this cap and gown. And the first thing I said to my homegirl when I was on the phone with her, when I seen the post, I was like, that cap and gown look real fresh. Like it looks real fresh. And then next thing I know it, I start seeing people pull the Amazon listing for the cap and gown. And it's just like, you doing everything but just showing a degree or the transcripts. Like, what is going on? Like, old girl already who went to the school showed how easy it is to pull the information. Closed or not. Doesn't matter if the school not. She showed how easy it is to pull the information. So at this point, there really is no excuse. But my thing is, it's the arrogance for me. If you're not going to show it, just don't show it, but stop talking about it. But why would you jump on this trend, bring it back up again, still to not show it? Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
The answer to that is because some people still want to remain relevant. That's part of how she eats. That's part of her brand. She has to keep her brand going so that she can make guest appearances on different podcasts and keep her subscribers up, her followers up. It's part of what she does. You know, that's the answer to that question. But real quick, when I looked up, I said, is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant a real doctor? Does she have a doctorate? It says yes, based on her public claims. So it's not even basing it on facts or concrete material that she could produce. All right. It says based on her own claims, Cheyenne Bryant is a real doctor in the sense that she says she earned a doctorate in counseling psychology from Argosy University, which she also mentioned no longer exists. Right, while it was accredited. She also states that she has a master's degree in marriage, family, and child therapy, and an undergraduate degree in psychology and Pan-African studies. All right. And yes, it says she completed the doctorate before Argosy University closed. After the university shut down, she was unable to obtain complete official records because of issues with record retention following the closure. She maintains that she earned a degree and therefore continues to use the title doctor. All right.
What you guys are seeing with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is literally what pretty privilege gets pretty people in the world. If you're a beautiful person or if you're deemed pretty by the opposite sex of someone else, you can get away with anything. I checked out on her. Why I'm not a fan no more is because I didn't like how she talked to Teray. I saw her say stuff to him that women do to men in public spaces that I hate. They'll get smart, and as soon as you act like a man, they say, don't talk to me like that, don't fucking. And I didn't like how she was cursing at him. I didn't like how she was referencing a wife. Talk to your wife like that. To me, that killed her career. That told me that that's who she really is. That's her real character, because she couldn't control it. She didn't care if she was on camera. Talk to your wife like that. Don't talk. And it's like, if you would have spoke like that on any panel 3 years ago, you don't become Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. So when people get to see the ugliness come out of pretty people, they hold on. It goes back to Kanye. The prettiest people do the ugliest things. This motherfucker, will you...
Listen, I absolutely agree with him. And it made me think of, I came across different people saying that people that fake it, it's work to fake it. All right. When you're not a genuine person, it takes work to pretend like you're a genuine person. Right. And this situation, this story that he shared about her and the back and forth with Touré, which I did not see it, but now that he mentioned it, I'm going to look into it to watch it for myself. That's a perfect example of the real person who she is not the reserved intellectual that she depicts in these interviews. Again, I know her from the Cam Newton interview, and she came across as a very attractive woman. And that's not acting. She's an attractive woman, but she was on that couch, on the chair, with a tight fitted dress, the chain that said Dr. Bryant. She appeared to be very reserved, very informative, and I was intrigued. I was impressed. But then a real professional, especially when we're talking about having a degree in psychology, a real professional knows you have to maintain your self-control. Especially you don't get emotional over something somebody says. Real intellectuals, and I'm not saying she's an idiot, all right, but real intellectuals, for the most part, consistently have the ability to maintain their composure. They're not acting. That's who they are. They're so cerebral in nature that they don't come out of their shell. All right? They're not easily provoked. If you disagree with me, I'll see you in the comment section. But intellectuals, think about someone that you respect as an intellectual in whatever field. They usually are very reserved, and you almost never see them erupt with emotion because of something someone said. And no, I'm not saying that they're perfect. I'm just telling you, or explaining to you, I should say. Study people that you respect that are like extreme intellectuals, well educated, well read, and notice their mannerisms, the way they carry themselves, the way they conduct themselves. They're pretty much the same day in and day out. They don't switch up. Which again, this is how you could on a different note, this is how you could separate those that are who they say they are, who they try to pretend like they are, from those who aren't. The ones that pretend, they can give you a couple days of consistency pretending to be something that they're not, and eventually they'll revert back to who they really are if you stick around long enough and pay attention to them. Which is why you should always be paying attention to people in your surroundings. I know
I seen Cheyenne Bryant
I know I went off on a rant, but something to think about.
somewhere before. As an old head, it does not surprise me that this woman was a video vixen. She appeared in Busta Rhymes' video. She appeared in B2K. She also appeared in some old episodes of Real Housewives and Basketball Wives. I think she was in a Jay-Z video. The video vixen is the woman who used to do like those like very mediocre dances and videos. Like they barely knew how to dance, or they were just like the one who was like really pretty, just looking around, being like the, you know, love interest in the video. And that also kind of makes me feel like Joe Budden kind of knew who she was, and that's why he kind of peeped her. Like he didn't know her like that, but it's probably like, oh, I think I've seen her on set somewhere before. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. But people are wanting a refund on her newly published book. And it's being alleged that the publisher of her book is refunding people who purchased the book, giving that she just wanted to add the doctor to her name to separate herself.
Again, if you pay attention to people in different spaces, different occupations, different titles, would you see a doctor wearing something as revealing as this? Not saying a doctor is incapable of wearing something like this, but would a doctor wear something like that? Especially would any woman wear something like that who wants to be respected for their intelligence and not be not looked at as a sex object, or any woman I should say that doesn't want to be sexualized, and they want to be respected for their mind and knowledge, would not choose to wear something like this. If you disagree with me, I'll see you in the comment section. That's what the comment section is for. That's my thought on looking at how she's dressed standing next to young Jeezy.
From any other life coach, but really all life coaches are the same, and life coaches are essentially scammers. That's what they are. They're like narcissistic scammers. It's almost like somebody who can tell your fortune. They use certain things that you've told them, you know what I'm saying, to try to gauge and guide, you know, where they're going to go with the conversation. So you can say, oh my God, you're so right. Yeah, her career is pretty much down the toilet at this point. Do I see Cheyenne?
I don't think so. I think Pretty Privilege will carry her through. She'll get past this. Why? Because First of all, just off of Pretty Privilege, she's going to find more interviews from male podcasts. And honestly, because she's getting so much backlash from, I want to say, a majority of women, she's going to avoid those spaces. She's going to spend most of her time on male podcasts because the men are going to be just at awe from her beauty. They're going to interview her. I don't think the men, compared to the women, I don't think the men are as invested in finding out on whether or not she's a real doctor or not. And that's Pretty Privilege.
Separate degrees, 3 doctorates, 0 proof. There is a video on Club Shay Shay where...
Real quick, before I continue this video, I just want to read this. It says, it's also worth noting that having a doctorate is different from being a licensed psychologist. A doctorate is an academic degree, while licensure is a separate legal credential that depends on meeting state licensing requirements. Public discussions about Bryant have often blurred these two lines. So she publicly identifies as having earned a doctorate and uses the title doctor. Her doctorate has become the subject of public controversy, and because of the circumstances surrounding Argosy University's closure, some people remain skeptical while Bryant continues to stand by her credentials. Let's get into it.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant explicitly states that she has 6 separate degrees.
I ran into 6 degrees, 3 doctorates, a master's degree.
And out of those 6 separate degrees, 3 of those are doctorates.
I ran into 6 degrees, 3 doctorates, a master's degree, a house.
She has been a doctoral candidate 3 separate times. And 3 separate times, she is unable to find the transcripts proving that she completed said degree. You're telling me this woman has the intellect to sit down and obtain 6 separate degrees, but does not have the intellect to follow through to show proof of her credentials that she's loudly stating on various platforms. 6 separate degrees, 3 doctorates, 0 proof. Make that shit make sense, because 2 + 2 = 4. And she got 7. That don't add up.
Let me just say this before I play the final video. And remember, I said it's as American as apple pie. This whole thing with the public, and again, if you are watching this episode and you have a doctorate degree and you worked hard for your degree, you have a master's degree, any credential, I understand your gripe. But this whole notion that people have to render their documentation for the public is as American as apple pie. Why? Because it's like a PR move. Who in politics, who in any space that you could think of, renders their documents based on public requests? In what space do they ever do that? Maybe I missed something. So that's an honest question. You could tell me in the comment section. In what space do people render documents based on public request, public demand? So let's be honest. She's never going to render documentation, even if she does in fact have it. It's not going to happen. That's PR 101. All right. It's almost like when, PR coaches will tell you don't answer questions that will pretty much, that are not favorable for what it is you're trying to depict. You're better off passing or staying silent. All right. Again, she's entertaining all this, in my opinion, because she wants to keep her brand relevant. I'm going to play this last video, and then I'm going to share my final thoughts.
I believe what I just found out about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant actually found proof that Ann is Dr. Bryant. Now, her integrity may be in question, but she has her legal ducks in a row. She has had a registered trademark for Dr. Bryant since 2018. In connection with her life coaching services since 2017. Almost 10 years Her claim has been that she's been using the name Dr. Bryant in connection with coaching services and educational services. Where in this trademark does she say that she provides therapy? In fact, it's not even filed in that class. Her trademark is in class 41, which is an educational class. Legally, she owns the name. The trademark office is not going to ask for her degree. Not going to ask to see her dissertation. We'll only check and confirm that using her trademark in a way that it's a brand, and that she owns the name Dr. Bryant. That means that if someone else wants to use the name Dr. Bryant in connection with life coaching services, motivational speaking services, she can stop them. She owns that name in connection with her brand and the services she provides. Dr. Dre is not a real doctor. Dr. Pepper wasn't created by a real doctor. If the trademark office call it Dr. Bryant, she wants y'all to call it Dr. Bryant. Not saying it's right, but it is legal. She's going to go by Dr. Bryant. Legally, she can. You're never going to believe what I...
It's genius. And if anything, in closing, I'm going to say this. Gentlemen, run from women like this. I know some of you out there watching this episode, you chase after the baddest of baddest women, but run from women like this. Because the brilliance in what she's pulling off, even while getting backlash from the public, the brilliance in this, I'm not saying it's right, but it's legal. So she's legally Dr. Bryant. Does she have the credentials for the degrees that she mentioned? I don't know. Is she capitalizing off of all of this? Absolutely. The backlash, you know that saying, bad publicity is good publicity. She's winning. Tell me how she's not. And again, for those women out there that may be watching this episode, just understand she knows how to navigate. She's intelligent. She's definitely intelligent. Make no mistake about it. I'm not here to say whether or not she has the degrees or not, but she's definitely intelligent. And she's working through the loopholes. It's as American as apple pie. She's not the first and she's not the last to do it. All right. There's other people out there doing it. We're just not spending time questioning them. Right now, the world is questioning, a portion of people. Let me not say the world. That's giving her way too much credit, respectfully. Right now, she's being questioned for whether or not she's truly, in fact, a doctor with the credentials to match it, to prove it. But it's genius how she's navigating. But it's also dangerous when you think about how her mind works. So for those of you guys that are out there, those of you men that are out there that are looking at some of these women based on their looks, just know that many of them are capable to present a package to you that's not the true package. And if she's actually parading as a doctor, knowing she's not a doctor, could you imagine what she's like in a relationship? That's just my take on it. That's my take on it, and I stand on it. But what's your thoughts? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. As always, on your way out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.